One of the important things that a lot of companies are focusing on today is their cloud strategy. If you think about the cloud, it has opened up tremendous opportunities for organizations to both reduce some of their infrastructure costs, reduce their support costs, and now more than ever, there are certain capabilities that you can only get in the cloud. If you look at some of the higher end analytics, it's practically impossible to implement those things on site. So if you're not in the cloud, you're losing some of these opportunities for capabilities and functionality that your competitors are going to implement. So every company should have a cloud strategy. It's very important. We help companies build this, and we really focus a lot on what it is you're trying to achieve, how it fits in your other strategies. I really call cloud strategy an enabling strategy because it should be enabling the rest of your business strategies. We focus a lot there, and then we help you build a roadmap that can represent what things need to move to the cloud, when they should move to the cloud, and where both your near-term, mid-term, and long-term opportunities are in this space. When a company is lacking a cloud strategy, there's some real negatives that can happen in their environment. One thing is they will just start moving things to the cloud. We see that a lot. They just pick something and say, let's put this in the cloud. There's a couple problems with that. First of all, it may create latency issues or performance issues that they didn't anticipate. It may not deliver any positive business results. The cloud might be more expensive for some applications. And so if you shipped the wrong thing, you might be countering the business goals and objectives that you're trying to achieve. And some of the other possible negative outcomes of not having a cloud strategy is that you're not taking advantage of some of the advanced functionality in the cloud. Again, by moving the wrong things, you're not focused on where can we get the most functional benefit out of the cloud. So again, a lack of a strategy is going to hurt you in that space. Another possible negative outcome of not having a cloud strategy is that as you move things to the cloud, your team does it in the exact same way that they would if they were doing on-premise implementations. And there really is a difference there. You don't want to be commissioning servers and building VMs in the cloud. If you do that, you're really not taking advantage of what that cloud infrastructure is all about. So a key part of your cloud strategy has to include how do you build the right approaches to that so that as people are moving things to the cloud, you're taking advantage of the cloud environment. Another negative that I see very often is people move things to the cloud, and because of the way they build them, they're very expensive, and they don't have a good view into why. So they're suddenly getting very large bills from their cloud providers, and they don't understand which application is driving it. They may have left things turned on that shouldn't be turned on because you can turn services on and off, and they will suddenly realize that they're getting these very large bills, and they don't have a good way of managing that. So another element of your cloud strategy has to deal with how are you going to manage this and monitor it and really understand where the funding is going and how things are being set up, and to make sure it's aligned again to what you're trying to achieve. We had a client just a couple weeks ago come to us, and they had some infrastructure problems with their website that were causing downtime, and their immediate answer was that they wanted to move some things to the cloud. And that may be a perfectly good answer, but there's also a risk analysis here. So although we're going to help them build a cloud strategy, at the same time, we're using our enterprise architecture approaches to help them analyze what are the risks and issues that they're facing today that are causing things like this outage that they recently faced. Because I would hate to have them shift to the cloud and have the same problems still be in place. So that's an example where we are building a cloud strategy, but we're also adjusting this to the specific situation of risk that this client is facing. We have a whole process that we will help them evaluate cloud for their specific situation. We typically will start with what are you trying to achieve, right? What advantages is the cloud going to give you? And sometimes it's a time to market advantage. Sometimes they need the kind of instant scalability that you can get from the cloud. Sometimes they're trying to eliminate some of the on-site resources that they have to have supporting and feeding all of their infrastructure and applications. So there's a lot of different reasons that companies might move to the cloud. And we really start with let's figure out which of those makes the most sense for you and again, for your business goals and objectives. Once we do that, we will then help you really evaluate your applications and your infrastructure to see which ones make sense to move to the cloud, what it's going to take to move them, because there's often, the way things are wired into your environment can really affect the cost of a cloud migration. So we might start with just the low-hanging fruit. What are the easy opportunities to migrate to the cloud that are still going to give you those business advantages that you're trying to achieve? And we can help you develop a full-fledged roadmap for cloud migration that might span a period of 18, 24 months, but it'll really be a roadmap that you can follow and execute as part of your cloud strategy.